Hello, everybody. It's Spice Must Flow. I'm back again, and today I'm not going to talk about Manchester per se. I mean, you would expect the guy who says, "Furthermore, I consider Islam must be destroyed" at the end of all of my videos to basically go all against Islam, but I'm not going to do that exactly. The reason why I'm not going to do that is because you already know how I feel, right? It isn't like I couldn't predict this. It isn't like anybody who was not, you know, in tune, if you will, with the Islamic mindset, wouldn't have predicted that there would be more attacks. I was instead going to talk about the performers. You see, this attack took place at an Ariana Grande concert, right? And she's a little, little pop girl, little sit and spinner girl, that makes songs about getting fucked so hard she can't walk. And kind of does the pop slut game. Okay, and I mean, a Muslim went in there and killed her because, for reasons that make no sense to me, the left supports a group of people that that don't really want women to have fun when they have sex. I don't know how it is, but somehow the same people that look at any imposition of any restriction on abortion, and the what I consider to be just generally good, best practices Christianity advocates for women in terms of their conduct, um, to avoid STDs and unwanted children, and lifelong poverty. They consider that to be an imposition on women's freedom, but somehow they're with the group that considers it totally legit to beat your wife and and cut off her clit, right? I mean, somehow they're on the same team, right? Because the left doesn't exactly make sense. I mean, it does. It's about political power, as I said in my last video. But I'm not really exactly going to go into that. I'm not going to go into or talk about very much the actions of the left following this, or the actions of these folks, or how it happened. And the reason why I'm not is because it's been a while and everybody already knows, and there's already a ton of videos out there about it, right? Everybody with good sense knows what happened, what we have to do, right? It's pretty simple. These folks are going to keep on killing us. They will keep on killing other settlers to European lands where they're being invited, right? They're just going to keep on killing people as often and as much as possible to try to bring about an Islamic state, or at least a state that, if it is not Islamic like ISIS is nevertheless, a state where the majority is Muslim, right? That is the MO. That's what they want to do. It's what they've done for 1,400 years, right? Longer, actually, at this point. So, I is what it is. You either get your head out of your ass and act against it, right? And there's a multiplicity of options on that one, right? All of them are well beyond the political pale at this exact moment. But I mean, historically, you do a reconquista. We could offer benefits for them to leave, right? Be cheaper in the long run than allowing them to colonize our countries. That, by the way, doesn't just apply to the West. If that applies to Nigeria, that applies to India, that applies to the Philippines, for instance, right? And basically, to think that Islam's a religion of peace is really ignorant. So, at least ignorant, literally ignorant of its history, right? Ignorant of the history of Islam. So, this is more about the pop artist. So, Ariana Grande, right? She was one of the victims. She wasn't a victim of this the way that the 22, at this point, as of last time I read, victims who died are victims, or the hundreds who were injured in a variety of ways, probably from life ending to just simply getting some scars, right? Like, when I say life ending, I'm talking about paralyzed, losing limbs, that sort of thing, all the way to people who might have a cool scar, right? She's not a victim the way those people are victims. But, it happened at her event. And it's intriguing to me, right? The various other pop performers. There is, of course, the idiotic Katy Perry, um, idiotic, I mean, utterly idiotic Katy Perry statement of, we just need to all love on each other, no borders, just live together. I posted on Facebook this story from like an Onion takeoff where like ISIS heard her statement and just put down their guns. We're like, damn, wish somebody told us that. Yeah, now here's the thing, right? Pop performers, they exist within a certain window of acceptable behavior, and there is an attempt currently amongst popular performers, pop artists, to appear to be outrageous while in fact not being outrageous. You can see this in the form of what happened with Kanye West a while back, where he began to make statements that were just simply outside of the narrative that he was supposed to do. Kanye West can do things that are shocking, right? He can bang Kardashian. I mean, he could probably, bang Kim Kardashian in the middle of I don't know, some fancy restaurant in Beverly Hills or wherever they eat nowadays. And I mean, literally, like, just hike up her skirt and just like start hitting it from the back, right? And he'd get away with it. No one would care, right? I mean, the Pablos would be like shocking, right? But like, it would just be a stunt because that has nothing to do with anything. What did Kanye actually do, though? Kanye basically began to question aspects of the industry and aspects of what we see and what the reality of things is, right? I have no idea whether it's true or not myself. I'm not going to make a statement as to the veracity of his claims, right? I have no idea. But what I do know is this. He basically got kind of herded out, right? And they were like, well, he went crazy, and now he's back to just, doing the same stupid ass Kanye shit that he was always doing, right? And that's the aspect of the narrative, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine, and we're talking about basically what Ariana Grande would be able to believe, right? What she would be allowed to say, everything. I said, look, even if she began to question even the slightest the narrative that we can all live together and we'll all have peace, the really stupid Katy Perry narrative that we're all just going to get along, right? Even if she questioned it slightly, she wouldn't be allowed to say it publicly, really, without being Kanye, right? They pull her away. She would never be allowed to express that opinion, right? He basically said on all of this that she'll be apolitical. She'll stop making stupid statements and she'll just be an apolitical pop star. I hope. I mean, I hope that all of the pop stars. Actually, I mean, I hope the pop stars start making good music before they do anything else, right? But that's not going to happen because reasons. But the truth of the matter is this, right? It does not matter who gets killed in Hollywood, who gets killed at some event, what happens, doesn't matter. Okay, the intelligentsia, if you will, within the media structures that are doing popular music, popular entertainment, I guess you could say, in the entertainment industry, more accurately, in general, is so far to the left, and they've gone so far to that narrative that they'll never stop, right? They just won't. They're never going to stop being who they are. They're never going to stop selling basically a generally lefty narrative that assumes that that is the only opinion in the world and that it's certainly the only valid opinion in the world, right? So, and as I said, if anybody counters that narrative or even begins to question it, they better stow it away in a deep, dark heart of their place, because if it ever comes out, and then they refuse to recant, they refuse to be Kanye to some extent or another. And I'm not even saying Kanye is like somehow some sort of stealth Republican. It's not what I'm saying at all. I don't think he is, right, at all. I'm just saying if you just move even slightly off of what your handlers tell you, which is really all that Kanye really did, take them off the stage, right? If you're an actor, release them from where they're at, okay? Everything is a controlled opposition. You're never supposed to move away from what it is that you've been assigned to do. And there is no original thought in Hollywood. It's 100% a controlled environment. It's also part of why it is conservatives really aren't accessing it much, okay? One of the various reasons why it is we're not really accessing it. And in the same way that I have seen a lot of boutique shows appear on places like Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, right? I think that there's probably a lot of money in a conservative streaming service. Not explicitly conservative. I'm not talking about like creating a Fox News or a Sun News or some sort of thing of that nature, news network or something for conservatives. I'm talking about literally conservative entertainment. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be just simply, you wouldn't be advocating for the same things that are advocated for now, currently, right? I mean, you would not have the denigration of rural white people. You would not have the denigration of Christianity in general. Black people would not be being portrayed as if the current status quo in much of the black community is something to aspire to. And by that I mean I'm talking about the incredible rates of fatherless homes and drug use, right? A truly counterculturally conservative network would talk about stuff of this nature, but it would just simply address it from a conservative viewpoint. You'd have those messages, same way there's small, tiny messages that are generally to the left and generally shift the Overton window to the left in network TV. This one would do the same thing going to the right. I don't think it would shift society back to the right at this point in all likelihood, but it would kind of give conservatives an anchor, right? Which would split the country a little bit further, but it's a thing. Going back to this whole thing though of what happened in Manchester and the entertainers, we should expect more of it. We should, these are large events attended by a lot of people. They're going to be attractive to these Islamic terrorists who we've let into our societies. And it will be interesting to observe various artists basically refuse to acknowledge that their fan base is being executed by people, right? By Muslims. Like, they're just not going to do it. You're going to hear more and more of the Katy Perry "Let's Love on Each Other," even as people are screaming "Allahu Akbar" and detonating themselves, right? Doing high-speed human disassembly projects, as I like to call them, right? That's going to be something that happens. And it will be interesting to see. So, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. And, of course, now more than ever, folks, now more than ever, furthermore, I consider Islam must be destroyed.